What's up, guys? I want to try and make a super short video, but you know how I get. This video is for athletes, parents of athletes, but it's super important. It's something I'm super passionate about. It absolutely drives me crazy, just because we absolutely care about you guys and we want the absolute best. So what we're going to talk about today is like detraining and training year round. There's a whole other video, and we'll do more videos on clubs, camp showcases, etc. But we're just gonna talk about just the actual training aspect and why it's important. So basically, every single year we have a super awesome summer. Everybody does great. We're crushing PRs. Everybody's getting better. Everybody's getting faster. Everybody's getting stronger. So hype. Woo 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 woo. And then we get closer to the holidays, and attendance starts to decrease. Now, this is getting better every single year. I think every year we're around, we do a little bit better job of educating you guys. We also have more athletes who have done the year-round thing and saw the benefits, and they're telling other kids, right? But we still see it, right? We still see that drop off. Whether that's kids who, you start to get busy with other camps, clubs, and like 38 other showcases and club programs that you want to do. And you have like 16 practices throughout the week. And so that's going to take priority over training, right? Because of course you got to, and we'll talk about that later. Don't even get me started. But you got to stay consistent with training, right? And those who don't, here's what happens. So beginning of summer, or we start with a team. We all start here: vertical jump, speed test, injury prevention test. Then 8 to 10 weeks later, like the end of the summer or preseason, everybody's getting better, right? Everybody's coming super often. So now we have 2-inch improvements in vertical jump, approach jumps getting higher, speed times are going down, everybody's stronger, less chances for injury based on our movement screens, all that type of stuff. Woo, everybody's hype, awesome job. Then those who don't train year round, again, we started here at the beginning of summer, we finished here. Those who don't train year round are starting down here the next year, guys, and it absolutely breaks my heart and drives me crazy. So we'll come into that pre-testing day, and some of those kids, oh man, yeah, sorry, I always meant to start training, but I ended up taking 3 to 5 months off, and then they do their numbers and like, oh my gosh, I'm worse than I was last summer. Guys, we're literally getting worse year over year. This has happened with 95% of athletes who don't train year round with us, right? 95%. We've tested over 2,000 athletes at this point, guys. I don't know, that's a very strong correlation, a strong research study for those of you guys who read research studies. This is some really good data and really interesting data, but it absolutely breaks my heart. We're literally getting worse, those who don't train year round. Now, again, we're always saying consistency is more important than quantity. We would rather you come 1 to 2 times a week the entire year, outside of like vacations, holidays, etc., than to come like 5 days a week for 3 months, right? It just doesn't work like that. Consistency is more important than quality. We're going to talk about it and show you why this year-round thing is important and this consistency is important. So I'm going to flip my camera. So this is just a plan from literally just August through the end of November, kind of beginning of December. Obviously, this is just a plan. We tweak and modify this as we go, but this is kind of our general roadmap to what we're trying to achieve. So GPP is more foundational stuff. Hypertrophy, we're actually working on like building muscles, right? Building more endurance. Strength, actually making those muscles strong. We have a deload week here, rest and recover. There was a holiday there, and then also hypertrophy again. Then we're heading more to like a strength power, some more explosive type of stuff. Then everything kind of fits within that box and progresses and builds on each other. So if we just look at our strength movements in general, right, and like our actual lifts, we can't just go into a strength block here and just be strong if we haven't built up any muscles in this block that we can actually make strong. We can't build up muscles if we don't know the basic foundational way to do that in a safe way, right? And so all of these things can't happen without the stuff and the adaptations that we've created in the previous 4 weeks. It all builds on each other. Now, if you start with us right over here and you're a brand new athlete and you start here and we're on week October 11, right? We're still going to help progress you through these types of things. We're going to tweak and modify your workout to help build you up slowly and in a safe way. But those of you who are training year round, you can't just jump in and out all the time and expect to achieve all the exact same benefits of if you just let this all continue to build on each other, right? All of these different things to achieve these goals, we have different sets, reps, intensities that we're trying to use to actually achieve those goals. If we're not staying within those rules and regulations, then we're not actually going to achieve those adaptations and those goals, right? So when you're lifting at your high school weight room and it's just super random sets and reps every single week and super random intensities every single week, or you're just maxing out every single week, you're not specifically targeting the adaptations for each and every one of these goals. If we look at our speed and power stuff, and I understand I'm already getting long-winded, just keep rolling with me, guys. I promise you this is important. So like throwing our med balls, our upper body power, we start from a half kneeling position, then we progress more into standing and like a split stance, more neuromuscular stuff, integrating in the hips. Then we make it a little bit more repeated, more reactive, more sport specific. Our sprints, we start with movements and positioning and angles. We slowly progress that into more reactive 1 cut, then into more 2 cut, more reactive, more auditory cues, more visual cues, more sport specific. All of these things, guys, they just build on each other, and they continue to build on each other, and they continue to build on each other. And that's why this consistency is so important. Last thing I got for you, roll with me here, training residuals. This is some big fancy words here. Basically, we have the aerobic system, anaerobic system, maximal strength, adaptive quality here, right? Aerobic system, I don't know, more conditioning, I guess you could say, like aerobic, longer distance types of stuff. Anaerobic, more power, more quick bursts of energy. Maximal strength, strength endurance, maximal speed. So this is some big fancy words, mitochondrial density, like all fancy stuff that happens when we're trying to train these things, right? But basically, all of this stuff goes away in this many days. So if we stop training strength for 30 plus or minus 5 days, we lose out on these things. We lose out on actual strength qualities. That's why these people are getting worse when they're not training year round. We lose out on that strength. So all that hard work that we built up, we lose out on that in 30 plus or minus 5 days. And again, remember that bigger plan, right? 30 plus or minus 5 days. So right here, if we're in this type of block where the intensities, the sets, and the reps are different than a strength block, and we stay here for 30 days, we're going to lose strength. And so that's why we make these plans, so we can constantly make sure that we're not only getting all the adaptations that we want, but that we're keeping them, right? Maximal speed, you lose out on that in 5 plus or minus 3 days. And again, little quick disclaimer, maximal speed, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to practice and I'm sprinting, so I'm keeping my speed qualities. There's a specific way to train speed. We already talked about that, right? So again, guys, I need to wrap this up. But if you want to know why you're getting worse, you got to look at your training schedule, guys. Going to all these different clubs, all these different showcases, all these coaches that are like throwing the gas pedal down because they had all this time off during COVID, and now they're just going to like make up for this lost time. It doesn't work like that, guys. The training is a process, and it all builds on each other and builds on each other and builds on each other. You need to stay consistent, guys. Just get here once a week. If you can get here once a week, we can, all of those training residuals that we just talked about, if you can get here once a week, we promise you we can not only maintain, but we can even start to build. So just stay consistent, guys. Keep going strong, and look forward to seeing you guys next week.